Hey everyone, it is Jane Gary of Showstopping Sales. I am known as the sales strategist for the non-sales person, and you are welcome today to the Sales Savvy and Success Show, or training as the case may be. So if you don't know me, committed growth-oriented business owners actually hire me to help them stop the stress and get to yes in their sales conversations. And that's so they can serve more people, have more impact, and have more fun too. So if that sounds like you and you want to stop hearing less, I'll have to think about it, or gosh, I don't have the money, and you'd rather hear more, oh, that sounds really good, how can we get started? Then you are always in the right place if you are connected to me and you're in my community at all. So welcome to today's training. Today what I'm going to talk about is feeling cool as a cucumber when you're in your sales conversations. And what I mean by cool as a cucumber in your sales conversations is that you're really just feeling like the full expression of yourself. You feel good, you feel confident, you feel happy to be on the phone with this person, you are excited about having a conversation, you're eager and interested in learning more about this prospective clients, and you're cool as a cucumber. Let's all say it like that. Actually, I'm kind of like that. Cool as a cucumber. You're feeling cool as a cucumber because you care very much about this person that you're talking to, but you're not attached to whether or not they're going to become a client. So today I'm going to give you 3 tips to make sure that you stay cool as a cucumber in your sales conversation, because you're not really attached to how it goes at the end. So let's go over this a little bit more. Tip number 1. I say this all the time. This is a Jainism, as my clients like to name things when I say these sort of pithy remarks or whatever. So tip number 1, rule number 1, people are not paychecks, so do not treat them that way. I'm going to say it again. People are not paychecks, so please do not treat them that way. Here's what I mean by that. Now, some of you just are naturally kind of in the flow, and you've got a belief around money that's kind of, it'll come in when it's supposed to come in, and I can get it, I can not get it, and it's all going to be okay. That's fantastic. For most of you, you probably have more of a feeling of, I'm getting on the phone with this person and I really, really need it to close because I really, really need the money and I really, really need this client. And that's what's creating stress and pressure unnecessarily in your sales conversation. So I want you to think about this a little bit differently. Instead of feeling consciously or unconsciously, and this isn't a judgment, by the way, if you show up feeling like I got to close this deal because I really need the money, it's not a judgment at all. I just want you to have a little bit of a mindset shift. And here's what it is. Instead of, I got to close this deal and I really need to do that because I need the money, I want you to really have this be your new mantra. Provision is forthcoming. Provision is forthcoming. And what I mean by that is, if you get up and you work your business every day and you do the things that you're supposed to do, and you are getting the support and guidance that you need, and you are doing your prospecting, you are having sales conversations, you're doing all of your marketing, and you have the tutelage and the guidance that you need to make sure that all of those things actually get implemented, then I have really good news for you. Provision is forthcoming. You really will not have to worry about making sure that you're generating revenue in your business, provided that you are actually running your business and you are having sales activities. So if that's happening, then here's what the next thing will happen for you. There's no one person, there's no one conversation that is going to create that kind of stress in you. It's like, this is the one, this is the holy mother, this is the client I've got to get today. It's the end of the month. I need at least something. And I've seen far too many business owners actually go through that. So let's stop that right here, right now, today. People aren't paychecks. Don't treat them like that. And I don't want you to get into the mindset for you that sounds anything even remotely like, but I really, really, really need this deal. I really have to close this client. I want you to just let all that go. Take a deep breath. You do not want to bring that energy into the call. It's stressful for you, and it's also stressful for them. So I don't know if you've ever been on the receiving end of a phone call or a sales conversation, or you're the prospect, let's say, in the sales conversation, and the person's a nice enough person. They may even feel like they really know what they're talking about. You can tell that they're an expert in their field, and there's just something about them that feels a little desperate. And you kind of start naturally backing up, and who wouldn't, because they're coming at you like this, and all of a sudden you feel like you're the sole responsible, you are the thing that's standing between them and putting food on the table or making the mortgage payment or whatever the case may be. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling when you're the prospect, and it's really not a good feeling when you're in the role of the salesperson, otherwise known as the business owner. It's just too much stress. So don't do that. People aren't paychecks. Don't treat them like that. Here's your new mantra. Provision is forthcoming. If we were all in a room right now, I'd say, everybody say this with me. Provision is forthcoming. Okay? Got it. That was point number one. Point number two. This is a little radical, and I have gotten, I'm going to say, in trouble with other sales professionals for saying what I'm about to say, because they just lose their ever-loving minds and get all over me for this, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's what I believe. So the goal in any sales conversation, here's the thing, it's not to close. The goal in any sales conversation is not to close. So you can see why I kind of get some flack and pushback from other sales professionals. They go, oh, what do you mean you're telling them not to close? You want them to just show up kind of, la-di-da-di-da in a sales conversation and, hey, whatever happens, that's okay? And I say, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. You have to get clients. You have to get clients who pay you. You have to generate revenue in your business. Otherwise, you don't have one. So I am not saying the goal isn't to make money. I am not saying the goal isn't to generate revenue. Of course you have to do that if you're a business owner. Must happen. And it doesn't mean that any one given sales conversation, the burden of the close and the burden of the money is on that. So a little bit similar to people aren't paychecks, but this one goes a little bit more deeply. So let me explain. There's a difference in the definition between an objective and a goal. A goal is the result of actually meeting the objective. And so this is where a lot of people get confused. They go into really anything with, my goal is to lose 10 pounds. My goal is to close this call. My goal is to pressure wash the driveway. Why anyone would do that and not hire it out, I don't know, but I digress. So your goal is not to close a conversation. You have an objective. That is what you're looking to meet. So your objective in any conversation is to have a rich conversation that is a fully vetting process for you and for your prospective client, because the two of you are trying to determine together if you would like to go into partnership. When you have that kind of conversation, it's rich. You're asking the deep questions that matter. You're requiring and asking them, and they are more than happy to meet you there in their truth and start speaking it. When that objective is met, as a result, your goal of getting a paying client will very frequently happen. So here's the thing, when you think about it this way, and you really realize that the power of a sales conversation isn't in whether or not you closed. The power of the sales conversation is whether or not you had an appropriate process with skill, with compassion, that resulted in somebody saying, you know what? Thank you for allowing me to share my truth as I see it. I am now realizing I need to do something differently, and I've decided that you are the person that I want to do that with. When you meet that objective, you will reach your goal of getting paying clients. So point number two, tip number two, rule number two, however you want to call it, your goal is not to close a conversation. Your goal, your objective is to have a rich, rewarding conversation that, when done appropriately, will result in your goal. And finally, point number three, this is especially true in the self-development coaching industry. So here's point number three. This is a relationship. It is not a transaction. It is a relationship, not a transaction. You need to be very aware of the fact that if you're in the self-development industry or the coaching industry, even as even a consultant where you're working with the person that you just enrolled, you're the deliverer. You are the service deliverer. You want to be really, really sure that this is somebody that you can go into a relationship with, or I like to call it a partnership. My clients, I am your partner on the journey. And that means we spend time together. And that means we are in a relationship, we are in a partnership. And what that means is I need to feel really confident and excited that I can work with you and that I can spend time with you. And you should really feel the same way with me. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, because I know that I have personally, but you get a new client and you look at your phone and it's ringing, or you've got an email coming in and you go, oh no, it's Sally. What does Sally want? It is always something with Sally. She's always complaining, or there's a problem, or she's going to have an excuse why she can't show up again today. You don't want to work with Sallys of the world. On the flip side, you've got a Susie maybe, and every time Susie shows up in your inbox or on your phone or on your calendar for the appointment, you go, excellent, I get to talk to Susie today. I cannot wait to see what she's come up with, what she's created, what kind of progress she has made, and what a joy and a delight she is. She always shows up with a great attitude, and even when she's frustrated, she's solution-oriented, and she's just a doll. She's a gem. That's what you're looking for. So you're in a relationship. This is not a transaction. I'm not a big fan of kind of completely transactional sales anyway, but for purposes of this, what I want you to always remember is you are not conducting a sale that gets flipped out over to the customer service department and good luck to them. It's, again, not a fan of that anyway. That's just kind of a wacky way to go about life, in my opinion. And 100% certainly in the self-development coaching industry, you are in for a world of hurt and frustration if you think, you know what, let me just get them to say yes. Let me just get their credit card and I'll deal with everything later. I will worry about how I'm going to handle them. I will just stuff down my concern that they're going to be a little bit of a nightmare client, or not going to be that much fun, or whatever is your buzz. So when you realize that you are the deliverer, you are the service deliverer of the thing that you're selling, what I would encourage you to do is remember that is going to make a difference, not only in the conversation that you're having, but in your future delivery. So you always want to make sure that, here's a Jainism for you, you work with the right people who are right fits, or the good people who are good fits. So I'm just going to give you that for a second here. Over the course of your career, you will encounter good people who are a bad fit for what you do. And what I mean by that is they're a delightful human being. You can see going to the coffee shop with them. You can see hanging out, whatever. They don't have to be your new BFF, but you just really like them. They're a cool person. However, they're a bad fit for what you do because the problem that they have isn't really something that you can provide the solution for. Or you may be able to provide the solution, but you know you're probably not really the best person to deliver the solution. So that is somebody who's a good person and a bad fit. You don't want those kind of clients. The other option is you have bad people who are good fits. So let me explain that a little bit. I don't mean they're inherently bad. I'm not talking about evil, horrible, nasty people. What I'm saying is a bad person, it doesn't fit into your criteria of an ideal client. If you're a real stickler for punctuality and you can tell that they're going to kind of show up late, if you don't like being kind of challenged a lot in what you say, and you can just tell that they're going to do that. Whatever the deal is with them, it's just not going to be a good fit personality wise. So that's a bad person. They may be a good fit because the exact problem that they have is the solution that you can provide, and you really think you're the best person to provide that solution. So bad person, meaning just not going to be an ideal personality fit, but good fit as far as problem solution. These are the hardest or the most challenging people to say, no, thank you. I don't want this business. I don't want to work with you, because they have a problem. You know, you have the solution. And oftentimes these people actually very much want to work with you. But if there's anything showing up in that sales conversation where you're thinking, I don't think so, this is going to be just not a good personality fit for me, then you really do want to turn that business down. So what does that leave you? A good person who's a good fit. A good person meets the criteria of the kind of person that you would want to work with. Punctual, kind, heart-centered, pays their bills on time, sense of humor, whatever is important to you when you sketch out your client avatar. This is a good person in that they fit that criteria. And they're a good fit because the problem that they have is the solution that you provide, and you believe you're the best person to provide that solution. So in summation on that, there are going to be good people who are a bad fit. You don't work with them. Then you have bad people who are a good fit. You don't work with them. You work with only good people who are a good fit for what you do and who you are. I hope you really take that to heart, because your business will grow easier, it will grow more quickly, and it will be so much more enjoyable when you actually work with good people who are a good fit for what you do. So remember that when you apply rule number 3, which is your sales conversations are really the beginning or ending, or not beginning, of a relationship. It's not a transaction. All right, so let me go over these again for you just really quickly in summation. So this is what you want to do if you're more sweaty palms and you want to be cool as a cucumber in your sales conversations. Is number 1, please remember, people are not paychecks. Don't treat them that way. Your new mantra is provision is forthcoming. Number 2, the goal is not to close in any sales conversation. You are actually following the objective of having a really rich, rewarding conversation where people can tell their truth as they see it and then make a very powerful decision from that place. So goal isn't to close. Your objective is to have a great conversation. And rule number 3, you are actually entering and inviting people into a relationship with you, not a transaction. So there's going to be a period of time in which the two of you are going to have to live together, hang out together, spend some quality time with each other. You want to be really, really certain that that's something that makes you smile when you see them show up in wherever, and not kind of go, oh no, I really wish I hadn't taken this person on as a client. So there you go. Those are your 3 tips for today. No more sweaty palms for you in a sales conversation. From here on out, you're going to be cool as a cucumber. All right. If you want to learn more about what all of that means, if you have specific questions, or if you'd like to find out more about how you can move from sweaty palms to cool as a cucumber, I would love to hear from you. You can get in touch with me through my email, which is the best way. That's Jane@showstoppingsales.com. Jane is Jane at showstoppingsales.com. You can also check me out on Facebook, Sales Strategist for the Non-Salesperson, and then I'm at Jane Gary on Twitter. So I'm floating about the universe in various mediums of social media. So you can find me there, and I'd love it if you'd send me an email. And just email me and drop me a line or post here and let me know which one of those 3 resonated with you the most. All right, everybody, this has been Sales Savvy and Success for You. I hope you've enjoyed this training, and I hope you implement it and apply it. And if and when you do, let me know. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next week.